JEB Boasberg had to cancel his hearing in the alien enemies case. This is the same judge who's presiding over Signalgate. It's a beautiful day. We're in spring here, but it's unusually cold. Maybe not that unusual. We've had some days, you know, first, second week, some years, first, second week of April where there's even snow. I guess I never noticed this before, but you got a whole balcony over there. See that? Chairs. So it's a beautiful day on the High Line, but a little unusually cold. Now, there was supposed to be a hearing starting in an hour, but a lot of people heard, I think, that SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, they determined that a district court cannot, they don't have jurisdiction over people accused under this Alien Enemies Act unless it's in their district. That makes sense. I don't know. Maybe people are pissed off about that ruling. It sort of seems obvious, like, why are these judges, you're not there to butt your nose and decide what, just sit there and judge. People will put cases in front of you. It's weird. So Boasberg had to cancel that, but this is the guy who addressed the randomness process. We spoke about this, where he said there were decks. Again, I wish we could have video of what was going on in that courtroom, because it's clear in my mind, but for people who haven't seen it, I don't think you're gonna really, I'm not doing it justice. And they don't even have probably the transcript yet. It usually takes weeks or more to get the transcript. So court is super inefficient. Talk about government efficiency, Department of Government efficiency. You could go through the whole entire court and get rid of it. Hawaiian wolf. What is this? They're building something here. Oh no, it looks like they're taking away this is that creepy art that was, I guess, over here. Right? With all the heads? Where was that? Yeah, wow, this is how you ship it, I guess. Wood crates for shipping metal heads. Nice hat. But it's also could just be that guy likes the LA Dodgers. I don't know. I think they just won the World Series, so I guess a lot of people like them. They went to the White House. Make the Dodgers great again. So Boasberg, yeah, they didn't say that no district court judge, so now will they find a district court judge somewhere in Texas to challenge this? It's an interesting way to do it. And also remember, we now need to see it's super windy today. And that's part of the reason it's cold. Do we have global winding? Is that the next big? They should put up the windmills if they're going to have this. If you think about it, actually, this building, the wedge, the edge, the ledge, whatever it's called, sort of looks like Avengers Tower, doesn't it? That ledge in the movie, the original movie, The Avengers, they have that. I'm pretty sure it gets destroyed and they move out. They destroy a lot of stuff. You think about how knocked on its ass the city was when they destroyed the World Trade Center. In comic books, they're just like, boom, destroy building, boom, every day. That's why the movie The Incredibles is hilarious. They're getting sued for destroying the whole city. And even in that, they had sort of the Chuck Grassley-like government agent who was in charge of, running their whole show. By the way, did I remind people that you can sponsor the show on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. It's the most economical way to access all that great sponsor-exclusive content. There'll be more coming at you later tonight. Larry Klayman is going to join me to talk all about this idiot Boasberg. I think Larry has a much better perspective. Obviously, he's been practicing law for what? probably almost 50 years. I don't know the exact number. But the other thing I want to talk to Larry about is Chinagate. No, wait a minute. Here's the head thing. So what is that other thing? I guess they're disassembling it. They have wood here, taking away the heads one at a time. Are you guys getting rid of these heads?
I have no idea what this is.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Just throw it overboard. Fuck it. I guess that's probably not what they want them to do, but that's good that they sent the crew, and he's honest. At least he has no idea what to do. See, admitting it is half the battle. I like that guy's approach. But Larry will be joining me, and we have a lot to discuss with JEB Boasberg. I'll ask Larry about their, allegedly random process, but also just Chinagate, Charlie Tree. I think Larry, his lawsuits against Bill Clinton and stuff did a lot to bring some of that information out. And now, everything Trump is doing, with the tariffs and trying to reconfigure global trade, I guess that's a vague statement, He's been pretty clear, though. He wants to re-industrialize the United States, all the factories that have closed and everything. And some people say, Trump is an idiot. He's talking about the 50s and nobody wants to assemble cars and screw together iPhones, but he's kind of right. I mean, if we don't have steel foundries and microprocessor foundries, if China, you think about 30 years ago in 1995, when Bill Clinton was like, we should let China into the World Trade Organization. Bill Clinton and Charles has spoken about this. It's funny, see, these smart guys, the things they've been telling us for 8 years, they start to resonate when we see people do nothing. But Bill Clinton in, late 90s, he's like, we're going to get China into the World Trade Organization, and then this huge market of billions of people will open up. Look, with Haddads. And, we'll sell things to people in China. It happened because even if there are 1 billion people in China, I think the issue is something like 999 million, and 999 of them can barely afford to buy rice, let alone American products. So that never really panned out, and all of our manufacturing base is gone now. So it's a problem. But right, so the other thing with Boasberg is, so that's just one. And we know his wife is doing things with NGOs, his sister, his brother-in-law. Nobody seemed to care about that at all. There was a lot of evidence of all that. And and Bongino type. It's interesting. That was a full law and order. Why don't they? Yeah, see, this is frozen here. Signal up there. People saying here. Is it, yeah, there we go. No, I think it should be back now. Justice Roberts hanging out with Norm Eisen. We spoke about that, but that's what I mean. Why is nobody doing anything in the FBI area? I mean, we know why, because they're all full of shit. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, each one of them, in my opinion, okay, look, the stairs are totally open now. Remember they were building this? Yeah, they're not going to do a damn thing. is the issue. It's a fancy set of stairs. And then they have mini golf here or something with this owl. Isn't that strange? Can you see the owl? I don't know what the hell this is about. Who's playing mini golf on the stairs? Maybe this building? But, yeah, so Boasberg is left to continue his reign of lawfare. And so this case today that SCOTUS got down with, that had to do with the Alien Enemies Act. So I guess we'll see if Norm Ison's crew has hooks into Texas. I think you can expect, you know, they'll move this action there. I'm surprised. I didn't look at the docket on that case. Maybe it did move. But I think they're just sort of saying no. Go away with that. And they'll now focus on their other. It's another component of lawfare, by the way, this sort of flank attack, having multiple simultaneous cases going. Because normally, you know, there's different phases too, right? They try to open up vectors to get you hooked, and then different things can happen. I think it's an interesting topic to study, not good from the inside. Yeah, so people were reporting that it was breaking up. Hopefully it's not doing that anymore. Now remember, if it ever breaks up on here, even if you're just subscribed for free on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, after the broadcast, I'll always put up a really totally smooth version as recorded from the local phone. Okay, so the other thing I want to tell everybody about JEB Boasberg is that he's the Signal Gate judge as well. Whoops. And I had mentioned, but haven't gone into great detail yet, that I attempted to file in the Signal Gate case. I'm trying to enter that as an amicus, right? People remember me talking about this? So, last week, here, let's look at the docket. This is it for American Oversight versus Hegseth, Pete Hegseth. This is the Signal Gate. And remember last week, see it says there's an order, leave to file denied for Jason Goodman. Document is unavailable. The court has denied its filing. Pro se party has been notified by first-class mail. Leave is denied. But there's no entry on this docket where there's a motion seeking leave. That's weird. It's almost like a hole. The docket is, it's the record of the case. It's the official, it's important. It's not, you know, like the judge's little scratch notepad. It's getting windy over here again. But, yeah, so what happened, that was back on, you know, the filing was the 2nd or the 3rd. Very windy. Let me tuck in over here. Should we go with the giant bird or this way? Let's go this way and then we'll go check out the migrant hotel scene. It's really like a windstorm. Global winding. That's the new, we charge people for wind. They'll figure out a way. It's amazing. Yeah, so that happened last week. Boasberg. Let me duck inside. This is crazy. It's just too windy to even. Sorry, everybody. This is the global winding. We really need a movement or something. What are people doing? It seems like which is dead. That guy was turning it the wrong way. crazy. Okay. Ooh, it smells really good in here now. We have a new restaurant. Wow. Was this here last time? Something smells delicious. The Edge, that's the name of that thing. So that was last week that he just denied. But he didn't deny. He blocked it from being entered. See, it's very weird because if the judge wants to deny my request for leave to file as an amicus, he can certainly do that. But he's just not allowed to cock block the docket and just say, oh, here, by the way, Jason Goodman is not allowed to file. What the hell is that? It's super weird. Now, where do I want to go really out of this? Yeah, this way. So in response to that, because see, now he put it on the docket, my name is there. So that was sort of stupid, I think, because if he had just done nothing, he could have been like, filing? What filing? You know, it just, you know, treat me like an absolute dick and just pretend it never happened. Which I'm not sure why he didn't do that. It seems like they've opened up more of this since the last time we've been in here, right? Were you able to go out this way before? Are you able to go out this way now? Look, they have a DJ booth or something. What is this? Wine and spirits. Well, let's see. Oh yeah, that's the tennis or whatever it is. Whole Foods there. It's all quite confusing, isn't it? So he's muddying the record here because you see, if we want to have an appeal, whoever wants to appeal this case in the future, nobody knows what I had filed in that motion. Nah. Here, look, we've got a Hyundai dealership in here. This is the new thing, like just having car showrooms in the middle of anywhere. Electric. Plugged in there. It's so fancy. Money to. Also, by the way, no one is. See, there we go. A lot of sense because it's. And we'll get back to what's cooking. Streets of Manhattan. I see it is frozen on here. The Hyundai. If we leave. Time to remind people. /@ crowdsource the truth. Crowdsource the truth. Well, really, that's the one to get the full broadcast at the end of the thing. Because of the way the technology works on Odyssey, I can upload the recording from the phone without changing the link. It's a wonderful thing. I don't know why YouTube doesn't do that. Certain things don't do that. Okay, we're outside now. Hopefully the signal's better out here with any luck. But now we're back to the wind. I do believe it's going to be working out all right out here. It's weird. It's sunny, but when the wind blows, it's quite chilly. So that was last week. That JEB, he really should have just completely ignored it. But then when he, put my name on the docket, it's almost like an acknowledgement. Yeah, that's a good idea, Solemn. It's like, the new Oldsmobiles are in, and we'll test drive it through the mall. But JEB Boasberg, he shit-canned my filing last week. And had he said nothing, there'd be nothing at all there to really go on. But now he put my name on the docket and said the filing is denied. So it should be obvious to anybody who knows anything about the law or the rules, which, by the way, I'm not an attorney and none of this is legal advice. I could be wrong. This guy's a judge. He is an attorney. But anybody who sees the docket will see, wait a minute, who is this Jason Goodman? Where is his motion seeking leave? How is it just magically denied? There's no record here. The judge has this mystical black box unknown process where Jason's filing is denied. So basically, Jeb Baru there, Bonesman and Chief, he's got until the end of today for it to be 48 hours for my next filing to be docketed. It arrived at the court on Friday by U.S. mail. So Monday, Tuesday, that's 48 hours. I don't think they're going to docket it, but that was a motion for reconsideration under Rule 59E, where I'm saying, hey, you know, you can't do this for all these reasons. You have to docket it and then deny the motion. You got to give it due consideration. Because also, see, if it was nonsense that I was filing, like if I was, you know, I don't know, George's brother or something, and I was trying to introduce all kinds of ridiculous, extraneous crap, which seemed to obviously or even if not obviously, if it could in any way be construed as an attempt to inject foolishness or nonsense or crap, then you could maybe, I mean, even then, it's got to be handled properly where it just gets entered on the docket and it should say, this is irrelevant, extraneous information and you're not allowed. Strike it. That's the really ironic thing. The judge has the power to strike it through the normal process. If he doesn't like it, he can totally remove it. But he's gone the added step of just not allowing it to be seen in the first place. This is like a new building here that they've inserted, you know, near the entrance to the Lincoln Tunnel. And also conveniently across the street from B&H Photo if you want to buy a lot of camera stuff and, you know, move into a condo, or maybe these are rentals, I don't know. But you have that and Dunkin' Donuts. So yeah, this 59E motion, you know, that's saying, hey, you have to put the thing on the docket and rule on it. You can't just secretly knock it out. It's amazing. Here's a guy doing something similar to me. Yeah, streaming.
What are you streaming on?
I'm on right now on YouTube and X. It's Crowdsource the Truth.
Oh, cool,
I'm
man.
Jason.
Hey, Jason, I'm Kuma.
Kuma?
Good to meet you, dude.
Nice to meet you.
I'm on Twitch.
Wow, that's a whole big one you got there.
Yeah, I got it here, actually.
The Ronin,
The
wow.
stabilization is fucking...
Why do you need all that for just the phone?
I stream for around 6 to 7 hours straight.
Wow.
I like it's streaming in 4K right now.
Real
but
cool.
I like keeping it real steady, you know?
There you go. All right, man.
Real nice. Here, wait, let me give you a card real quick.
Oh yeah, thanks.
That is me. And what's your channel?
It's called Crowdsource the Truth.
Crowdsource the Truth. All right,
Thanks, man.
Cool.
Kuma
Have a great
Monster.
day.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Have a good one, man.
There we go. The Kuma Monster live streaming. Fellow streamer. No, let's go over to the hotels. That's what we were aiming to do. I mean, so what do people think of that? Obviously, the judge is trying to keep it out of the normal process. You know, if he wasn't concerned about what's contained in the filing, why not just put it on the docket, let it sit there for a couple days, make a ruling, everybody gets to see it. I mean, frankly, it's quite helpful information. Yeah, Ryan Ruth, a lot of people are wondering what's going on there. They just filed they want to seal information, national security. Who knows what's going on with all that? See, this is very disappointing because it seems like from the moment it all began with email Beauvais, nothing good is going on with the DOJ. Yeah, so hit me in the comments. What do people think about this? Obviously, something screwy. If the judge didn't fear the information contained in there, it's just the judge obviously doesn't fear it. The judge doesn't fear anything, or he wouldn't be doing this crap. But the point is, it seems like evidence that the judge is involved in the Lawfare scheme because they have a certain script that's playing out in public, and then Jason shows up and he's like, wait a minute, who is this improv player? He's going off script, get him out of here. And they don't want me injecting this subplot. So, yeah, I mean, basically, I think it's time for me to publicly release this motion, this amicus curiae brief, and so people can see it. I mean, it obviously won't get nearly as much traction from me just putting it out on X or whatever as it would get if it went into court, and certainly not if the judge was like, oh, look at this. Seems like the plaintiff doesn't even have legal standing to be a plaintiff. Case dismissed. Then it would get a lot of attention. Why isn't he doing that? It's almost like the judge has an outcome in mind that he wants, right? But he wouldn't do that, would he? Now, the other thing that we can be sort of considering as I walk around is, how is the level of safety in New York? I mean, it seems better. I realize that might be difficult for some people to determine, but it's definitely a lower concentration of maniacs, I think, right? We used to have a lot of people just rolling around, filling up the streets like dirty kids. Everybody had a cell phone. Even like 5-year-old kids had the cell phone. Now I have been noticing, I'm not seeing them over here. I guess it's after lunch. Maybe it depends on the time. They're being a little bit more clandestine, but the cooler network, oh yeah, see, we got some low-key criminal advertising for taxis and Ubers with that lady. Why would you do that when we have a whole official taxi stand right here? I guess some people just want to be off-grid, dealing in criminal operations only. Yeah, no, this huge store was a Walgreens. That's closed, or Dwayne Reed, whatever it was. Now it's nothing. Isn't it a beautiful day? So this is Madison Square Garden right here. Remember where Trump had his rally, and Jack Posobiec. Didn't that whole episode strike people as quite odd? Jack getting all upset, lying to the police to try to get me arrested. That's low stuff. He's a very bad guy. See, I see this all the time and I think, boy, that looks fancy. Blue ribbon sushi and steak. I bet you that's something. Have not been there. Yeah, so we had World Wrestling over here. Was I on the live stream when I was walking by that the other day? They had all the big World Wrestling Federation trailers out there, trucks or whatever.
Like narrow.
So they've really been renovating this area over here, this little Madison Square Garden complex, this whole office building, this plaza. Yeah, you got pickleball. I mean, how does it get stupider than this? You know real estate is in trouble when this much ground floor retail space is being used up by friggin' pickleball. That's weird. Who has time for that? I guess they're still renovating to some degree, but yeah, so this is a new big giant escalator down to the train station. Restaurants in there. The mother of gelato, right there. Yeah, there's been a lot less activity by these hotels. That was really interesting that Savannah Hernandez saw, I forget the tax filing company, but some famous accounting company was there trying to, you know, help people file their taxes. I don't know what that's about. I mean, is that igloo cooler sandwich money that they're paying taxes on? I don't think so. And everyone's always like, oh, these are taxpayers. Are they? What the hell are you talking about? I think they think that paying sales tax counts as taxpayers. Now look at this. We have state police. They're not usually here. What are they doing here? Just a nice day for a walk, really. Not even that much to say. We'll get a lot more later from Larry. He'll, I'm sure, have good insights as far as JEB Boasberg goes. I don't know if Larry's had much dealing with JEB Boasberg. We haven't heard about his name from Larry that I can recall. But he knows the DC District Court for sure and has had a lot of run-ins over there. That's Burl Howell and Tanya Chutkin. Oh yeah, there's this word. Is it I forget the word for when rule by judges. Let's look it up here. Kitraki or something like that. See? Rule by judges. Critarchy. Also called critocracy, was the system of rule by biblical judges in ancient Israel. See, that's what I think this jackass thinks he's got going on, that he's like, you know, this is my duty to oppose Donald Trump. What do we got going on here? I see this guy's walking his dog without a leash. He's trouble. This guy's midget friend going to the bar with the Chick-fil-A. That guy's angry. Yeah, so critocracy is the rule by judges. Not good. And that's not what we have. That's what they've tried to make. It's like a forced, false critocracy or whatever. Where these judges are giving themselves power. This guy's trying to chew gum, or what is he doing? That guy just, what the hell did he just do right there? Oh, it's saying I'm low on data. Another good reason why, you know, I realize people enjoy watching the show. Money is tight. Please become a sponsor. I'm paying for data out the wazoo. I pay the internet so much money, it's ridiculous. Now wait, look, Mr. Nugg's Cannabis Club seems back. Huh. Interesting. Oh, here's all these guys with the high vis standing around, but only for as little as $3 a month, you're going to be able to access sponsor-exclusive content on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, including tonight's episode at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with Larry Klayman, talking about this judicial tyranny. It's a serious thing. So it was a little bit of a breakthrough today. I mean, I don't know if it's a breakthrough, or at least they seem to be moving in the right direction with the decision saying, yeah, you're in D.C., you can't decide what's going on in Texas, and we need some action before the court, not just judges diving on these issues. Somebody's got to raise it, like this guy's family needs to sue some organization and provide some evidence. And, you know, I get it from the judicial branch, is this Elon Musk point of view, that you need the power to make rulings that have national force and effect. That's the whole purpose of the federal judiciary. But that doesn't mean that every single judge in every single district can rule on every single national issue. And issues got to be before the court. This is actually a little bit of a problem for Boasberg, because that's the issue with my filing as well. It's not actually before the guy until it's entered on the docket. So in my 59E, my motion for reconsideration, I'm bringing to his attention, you know, the rules, the federal rules of civil procedure. I forget which it is. I think maybe Rule 5 is about the docket or filing things on the docket. And it's talking about how it's procedural. Now, here's the other thing. I'm not an attorney, neither is ChatGPT or any AI, but I do consult a variety of artificial intelligence, you know, Grok and Gemini and ChatGPT, and asking them like, hey, you know, here's the Constitution, here's the facts in this case, blah, blah, blah. And when you use these ones, they have this thinking mode now with the chain of reasoning, or whatever it is, chain of thought, where it tells you like the logical process. Here's a guy on a Segway that never really took off. I don't know why. Smash your face. But the logical process, it's like, well, okay, here's all these rules, and it's like it doesn't say anywhere that the judge has judicial discretion of whether or not the clerk dockets the thing. It says the clerk shall docket all these properly filed things, and then the judge rules on it. So this guy is changing the rules and changing the order and making decisions that are, it's extra vires, ultra vires conduct. It got into that, violating the canons, the judicial canons of conduct. They can't just do whatever they want. I mean, they can and they do, but they're not supposed to be able to. So the question now becomes, who will hold that to account? And I'm not suggesting that I would or could or have the ability to do it. Just to do it. It's a serious question. So I don't know. And the issue is, like, by 5 o'clock today, if they haven't docketed my thing, my 59E, then what? Writ of mandamus? And remember, that's $605. Another good reason to become a sponsor on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth or crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com or subscribestar.com or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Let's check the docket now and see. I guarantee they did not put it on there. Find a case. National index. Gotta log in. Where's the login? It's not really designed for phone. Here it is. He's not going to allow it on. I mean, there's no reason to. I mean, I'm just directly challenging. He's not going to be like, oh, shucks, you figured it out. Now you can come in and reveal all this stuff. So here we want saved cases. American oversight. Document history and run report. Yeah, nothing. He had an order yesterday, but that order is, I think he's ordering the defendants to respond to the plaintiffs or something. He's having a hearing on the 10th or something. He's not saying anything. He's not saying anything other than Jason Goodman is denied to file. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? This guy's riding out of the bike lane right at me. I mean, this is a non-lane, but that's the problem with these motorcycle lunatics. Just as I'm saying there's less maniacs, out of the blue comes a maniac. So what do people think about this? This is a big deal. This should be a big deal. Boasberg, the problem is that what to do? They're not going to impeach the guy over this because it is not a high crime or a misdemeanor, even if he is defying my constitutional rights as I claim. There's no real definition of that as a high crime and misdemeanor style. Like, what is that? What do you do? SCOTUS is not going to get involved in my case. I don't even know how to do that. And as Larry explained, when I looked into it, like you have to print up your whole like case history and appendix and everything in this certain type of Supreme Court approved format of binding it in a certain way. Like you need to make a book out of it. And there's only certain printing companies that are even authorized to do this. It's literally thousands and thousands of dollars just to submit the case. It's absurd. It's crazy. I mean, in addition to the Judicial Accountability Act that I wrote a draft of and submitted to a couple different people at Congress, we really need a Judicial Modernization Act that should address other factors of the whole process of court, like the fact that you're not allowed to have a cell phone in there to record. They should allow judges to ban people who violate the cell phone rules, like if your phone goes off in the middle of the hearing, okay. But if you're, you should be allowed to have electronics, particularly you should be able to submit a thing that says, hey, I'm bringing electronics into the court, so they can say, okay, but you need to sign this thing that says if it rings, I'm getting kicked out forever. Because I do understand their need to not be interrupted by phones ringing. And I just don't think it's fair that they have all this control over the record. If they were, super trustworthy, it might be a different story. But because we are in such a foul problem with the whole thing. Something on fire? Oh, the subway? Is there something on fire in the subway? Is it on fire?
No.
Not on fire. Midtown mob. Look at that. Cool cartoon on there. What's going on here? Just selling t-shirts, I guess. Look at this guy in the Fisker Ocean is going crazy. I've noticed a lot of those lately. They must have had a blowout sale because I think that company is going out of business. Is Titanic a Broadway show now? Titanic. What really happened to Jack and Rose? Let Celine Dion avoid this hilarious musical void. Why would they make a comedy of Titanic? That seems weird. I would think they would just make it into a regular musical. Romantic. Now, wait a minute. Was it a musical? No. They don't even have any singing in there. There's just that one dancing scene. Whoa. Could be a musical, though. I mean, they've done stupider things. Now, here's someone dressed as a chicken. What is this about? Some chicken advertising. Why does a fake chicken, does it really make you want to eat chicken? Oh, is this just Chick-fil-A? No. It's the chicken guy. Aha, Guy Fieri has a chicken restaurant. Flavortown Shakes. New York's Ultimate Burger. No, wait, so it's Planet Hollywood and Chicken Guy? Is it two different? Or one thing? It's hard to understand what's going on here. But we've got the Chicken Guy. See, this is good. People can stay abreast of what is happening around New York. There is new restaurant openings. Now, I saw some video from Tesla that I hadn't seen until this week, but it was unclear if it was shot on Saturday or if it was from last week, because it looked to me like Saturday, or if it was over there this Saturday, and that everybody was concentrated in DC. It's weird, right? It's all these old people protesting. Weird. So what do people think? Is it writ of mandamus? What do I do with Boasberg here? It's an interesting, that guy was waving, but he's not not pointing in the right direction. Here, while I wait for this traffic light, we'll look at some comments. SCOTUS is hanging out in Norm Ison. I know, that's strange. That's really cause for concern. Screenplay, yes, it's weirder than a screenplay. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what was going on. That's the thing. These people are so confident that nothing is going to happen. Norm is boasting about hanging out with Roberts. You'd think that would be something that he wouldn't want people to know, but they just do not have any concern at all that they might be held to account for anything that they've done. And by the way, the rate Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and all them are going, they don't really have too much to worry about because they're having big press conferences about arresting, 3 gang members. And I'm not saying it isn't important to arrest gang members, but it just doesn't seem like the stuff of a Attorney General of the United States needing to be involved in the press conference to me. I don't know.
So, because I told her, because you've been communicating, I was like, since you've been...
Here's Bryant Park. It's nice today. Doesn't it? It's a sunny day. It's warming up now. So I think I'm going to file a writ of mandamus. I don't know what good that is going to do. I really think it's foolish to expect that the appellate court, is any less involved in this corruption than the district court. I mean, certainly, at least in New York, that's been my experience so far. No difference whatsoever. And I've had a few things going on in the Second Circuit Appellate Court. I filed a couple of complaints against Caproni and maybe James Cott. It took like a year and a half, 2 years before they said anything. And they were like, oh yeah, by the way, shove this up your ass. Nothing. They just were like, no discipline, nothing. We don't even mind. The judge is going to do more of this. Get out of here, stupid. Is basically what they said. They let Eric Adams go. For all the bloviating that Dan Bongino did about Hillary Clinton, how is that guy ever going to live down? I don't know, maybe he'll be at the FBI for the next 20 years. Or maybe he doesn't need money or to go out in public. But how is he ever going to live down all of the smack talk if he doesn't deliver as FBI deputy director? The Chrysler Building. Yeah, I mean, we've got a newly invigorated Eric Adams, basically. He's untouchable now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I think that Trump is being fooled. I think that Trump has got his attention focused on, as I said earlier, reindustrializing the country and sort of dealing with the biggest possible issue, which Eric Adams is maybe way, way down the list. Just got smashed by a bus. Yeah, the secret club of judges. What do we know about that? I mean, it's, secret clubs are one thing. It's like, well, okay, how do you address that? But here the guy is in court doing what we expect him to do, being a judge, and he's breaking the rules at that. Wow. Look at these pizzas. They look dense. Deep dish. It's like super duper dense. I remember Eric Adams got pissed if somebody asked him if he was celebrating deep dish pizza day or whatever. Here's legal maybe it is. Whole fancy. Reception problems over by that hotel. Yeah, so I gotta look into the details of mandamus. Yeah, see, it just said problems today. I was just failover system not failing and thinking it was working quite well. I don't know, it is a big challenge walking around like this and keeping a continuous stream. I don't understand why this thing doesn't automatically just keep retrying until the buffer is filled. That's obviously what I'm going to do. So we'll check out what's going on at the Roosevelt Hotel. Remember, Eric Adams' administration is still suing the Trump administration for not wanting to give them 80 million bucks or something like that. And then somebody brought to my attention that Norm is, I knew that he was, but I need to look into that. I mean, I don't know how many of these amicus things I can file. See, that's the other thing that I need to bring attention to, is that this $605 fee for filing the writ of mandamus, it's really not reasonable, because it creates a substantial barrier. Like, how many of those could I possibly do? Maybe one or two. But even that, definitely can't do it without the support of sponsors, and they're constantly trying to destroy that, right? All right, here's the hotel right over here. We also still don't know why they have medical imaging at this hotel every single day. Why do the migrants have such an amazingly outsized need for medical imaging? It's a mystery. Right, so the cooler businesses, the cooler agents have been localized to construction sites and hotels and, places where they've created this sort of, underground economy, underground community. And I guess, they're hanging with their peeps. Still have that mobile imaging. That's his mobile medical unit. No, wait a minute though. That's not the imaging one. That's a different one. What does that say? No, it is the mobile imaging unit. So what the hell is that thing doing there every damn day? Everybody in the hotel could have been x-rayed by now. Multiple times over. I don't get it.
The train station.
Something odd about that. This whole street is under surveillance. I mean, right, this gang is gonna control the area. The cops weren't doing anything for a long time. Somebody's opening an omakase restaurant right there? That seems stupid. Yeah, see here we got the coolers. Film shoot, no parking. What kind of film shoot? That woman's got the hair for one of those NYPD protests. She's ready to go right out of the bag. Transaction just happened. It's very strange.
Sorry.
A lot less activity here now than there was even a few days ago. It's just interesting. Whoop! Oh, I just got hooked up on a wire there. Or my wire got hooked up on a. It's almost pulled my headphones out. Got a little strung up there. Did that unplug my microphone? No, it just tugged on my ears. Okay. I don't know, does that sound... Did that throw me off in some way? Yeah, something's weird with the sound. I think. That might have broken my headphones, is what happened. No, there we go, just unplugged them halfway. Well, okay, so not sure what's going on at this hotel, but the igloo cooler business is still in business. And these businesses look like they're getting reinvigorated. Men's Warehouse, was that always there? Strange. Over there, and definitely some people who look like they didn't want me filming them. See, so there's still remnants of people hanging out. Remnants of people hanging out and strange things going on, for sure. And finally, the temperature is picking up a little bit. blowing out the data. But that's all right. I needed a walk. You know, the cold months in New York, particularly now that it's become an antisocial nightmare, I spend a lot of time inside. Now, this looks like the film shoot they were talking about, or a component of it. Someone's saying that was NBO, the worm has turned. I don't know what you mean. NBO.
That might be the last vacation for a while.
I'm at a loss. Bare-chested, it's a little too cold for that. Why would I do that? Yeah, I gotta be careful not paying too much attention to the comments as I walk around New York City. Isn't that a nice view of the Chrysler building there?
Somebody else has done that. I mean, if I do it their way,
Oops. You know, you can really just walk around New York City and there's so much interesting stuff to occupy your attention. You don't really get bored. So long as the maniac quotient isn't too high. So yeah, I'll enter this petition for a writ of mandamus. I think they're pretty rarely granted, though. It's extraordinary relief. So they'll just say no. They'll be like, hey, thanks for the 605, dick. No. Damn it. Got another Recover broadcast message, and I wasn't looking at the phone for a while. I hope we didn't just lose it there. Might have. Why is it having so many of those? If that lost it, I'll wrap it in and maybe hop on the subway. Buffering, yeah, I don't know why. It's getting so much buffering. It should be strong on the failover. I don't know, it just seems very good, sometimes not cutting. Now wait a minute, Brian says there's a penthouse in the Chrysler building. I haven't seen that. So someone is asking, why isn't Charles back in New York City walking around with Jason? And the answer to that question is that Charles has moved to Malaysia, and that's it. He's not coming back. That dude just shot across on a bicycle like crazy.
do whatever I want to do.
Well, right, so we want to check out, I mean, there's been nothing at all going on at Walcott for a long, long time, but I guess that's the nature of checking something. Of attention on the Norm video, and is this one of these Cadillac V models? But the Norm video back to the court many times. Some of those have pretty gnarly engines in them. There we go. Yeah, it looks like a Well, Solemn is suggesting that I file a complaint with the bar. They're definitely not going to do anything. The bar lawyers, the judge, this is the chief judge of the district court for the District of Columbia. He doesn't care what the bar association says to him. We need Congress to do something. So people say it totally cut out and they have no idea what I said. Well, I am sorry that happened, but it's got to do with the buffer and the way that YouTube works. I realize it's annoying, but this is the nature of it being live, walking around New York City. I recommend that people who want to catch the missing parts go to odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, and the full unbuffered version from the phone will be uploaded there after. And that's a function of Odyssey. It lets me upload to the same link. YouTube can't do that. It's a really good feature of Odyssey, and even for free, you get it. You don't have to pay for that. But once you're on Odyssey, if you choose to sponsor the show, it's as little as $3 a month. It's a great deal. Yeah, so the Norm video has been getting some attention because everybody's like, Norm Eisen, who the hell is that? Is this Elon Musk? People say, Norm Eisen, who the hell is that? And then they look and they see me talking to Norm. Here's the Alb vodka. And that dude's chilling in the Cybertruck. Need to advertise vodka on a car. Is this the... I guess he's here doing something. The cocktail people. Delivering booze in a Cybertruck. We need Congress to take up the Judicial Accountability Act and establish a new way to remove judges. Not a new way, but to codify and clarify the Article 3 good behavior clause. It's in the Constitution. Congress would be totally within their rights, and frankly, it's their duty to do this. Look, this is some kind of fancy new FedEx truck. Is this electric? No cash on board. They don't want you robbing the dude. .38th. Walcott is 31st. Hey, look at this dog. What's he wearing? Or she? It's like a little sweater. Or is that just the way the dog looks? No, that's a sweater or something. This dog is wearing an outfit. That's what I mean. It was pretty cold before. And this morning it was like, this was so stupid. This morning it was 30 degrees and the phone said, freeze warning. And I was thinking, well, okay, you're telling us the temperature is below freezing. Who needs a warning? Why do you need that? It just seems stupid. Here's the racketeering, influence, and corrupt organization bagel restaurant. The Rico Bagels. Now, it's unclear what happens to these other co-defendants from the Eric Adams case. Remember, we had these, sealed defendant, and then Danielle Sassoon came out and was like, hey, Mohammed Bahi and that other guy, what happens to them now? Sal was talking about that a bit, but nobody really knows. I mean, he was asking. No one knows what will happen to those guys. Maybe they're just, I don't know. They made some deal with the government to testify, and now the government just says, oh, well, thanks for admitting you did everything. We don't need your help anymore. Maybe that's what happens. Wow. Bad deal for those guys. Also, people seem to be kind of pleased that the stock market was on its way back up today. I don't know if this is the type of thing that you can watch so closely day by day. I mean, and by that I don't mean the stock market. I mean, you know, what Trump is doing with this whole tariff the world plan. I think it seems like a good idea. I guess people are saying that because Vietnam and Israel and a couple of countries had said, okay, we want to talk, or maybe they said 60 countries want to talk, that may have boosted the market, but the point is, I don't know, they were also trying to make it seem like Elon Musk and Trump were fighting at odds over the tariff plan. Musk wants zero tariffs. This is a very expensive furniture place. Looks kind of stupid though, some of that furniture. Look at that. I mean, this is good if you're 5. Maybe that's what it's for, kids. If you have some super expensive, you think the kids are gonna drool all over that. See, that's nice. It's got to cost $1 million bucks, a marble dining table. All of this is insanely expensive, crazy expensive furniture. See, that's interesting. I guess that's what it does, is it just, at a certain point, it drops the data. Well, Tim is reminding us that they audio record the court proceedings, but you can't get that. They don't give it to you. My point is, it's, you know, they make their record, and if it's adverse to you, too bad. I was born in the Bronx in the 70s. This is the Royal 35 Steakhouse. I don't know anything about this. Never heard of it. Is it royal? I didn't really have too much of a plan for this particular live stream. I wanted to enjoy the nice weather and go for a walk and let everybody know that Jeb, because I was originally planning on calling to listen to this hearing that he had scheduled for 3 o'clock, but then when they canceled it, I figured, well, I didn't know what he was going to do when SCOTUS came down and said, you DC judge can't mess with the Texas perp kicked out under the Alien Enemies Act. The other thing that they like to say, they're like, oh, this is a 100-year-old law. So what? Do they have an expiration date on it? How old is the law about not murdering people? You're still supposed to not do that. You don't just say, oh, well, come on now. That's so passé. But if you really, really, really want to, then can you? Now, here, you don't. That's so really, really want. Then can you? Excellent thing. Oh, look, Easter is coming. So we have Easter balloons and assholes on bicycles. Easter bunny. The mighty Empire State Building. I should go up there. I wonder if you can maintain a live stream. It would annoy me. And I think stories. The World Trade 6 used to Why does it keep doing that today? I really wish it would give me a little ding in the ear or something when it loses contact or whatever it's losing there. And here's these guys monetizing the live stream with their louder than 7 decibels than ambient broadcasting music. It's incredibly annoying. Just like the people who steal cartoon characters and strong-arm people for money in Times Square. These guys are just playing music, try to get you to vibe out and ride a bicycle in New York. I guess I never really thought about it that the Empire State Building is technically on 33rd Street and 34th Street. Why did they choose that? Is it Masonic? Ooh, I never even considered that before. Masonic history of the Empire State Building?
Yes.
Does it have one? Somebody says, weren't the orphans from Yonkers? What orphans? I think orphans that were... This is a new type of junk store. The orphans that were the subject of like kidnapping or missing whatever from Son of Sam were from Yonkers, I think, or went to Yonkers or something. Here's 32nd Street. All right, we're coming up. Yeah, Mary J. Blige, right. They're going to monetize the... They'll be like, copyright. YouTube will say that. Another reason why it's important for people to subscribe on Odyssey.com/@crowdsource the truth. They don't do that. Yeah, so Odyssey decided... Oh, the Coney Island Warriors, right. That was a good movie. Odyssey decided that they are sticking with normal credit card payments. They got whatever kind of beef with Stripe worked out, so people who are on Odyssey, thank you for sponsoring the show. If you're not, you can use your regular credit card. It's as little as $3 a month. It's a great platform, so you're not just sponsoring Crowdsource the Truth, you're sponsoring Odyssey as well. So the Walcott is over this way, right? Or is that it right there? I can never remember. Where are we here? That's 5th. Yeah, so that's it right over there. Right? Is that it? Or is it? No, it's back this way. No, it's 4 West, so it's... Where is it? That's it right there. It's got a scaffolding in front of it now. Yeah, it's got this whole scaffolding.
I think that.
It's almost like these hotels got a lot of money and now they're doing a lot of construction. Yeah, 4 West 31st restoration. So, I mean, are they restoring the hotel now with all the money they got from whatever they were doing there? Is this Elon Musk? Very strange. Walcott Hotel. Isn't it? That whole operation seemed to clear out. We had the army in there, and now it's just totally gone. Nobody said anything. We don't really know what that was all about. And now, that's it. They just, take all that money. Pretty good deal for the hotel, right? House a bunch of migrants, then, take all that money of all the rooms being sold for 4 years at maximum rate to the government, then renovate your hotel, and boom, there you go. Back in business, all new rooms. People putting in comments that don't necessarily move the conversation forward. Well, but anyway, we'll hear more from Larry about what's going to happen with Boasberg. He's out of control. Okay, so he got shut down here by SCOTUS, but again, it becomes, working against ourselves when it's just everything is lawfare and constantly fighting lawfare. Instead of being able to actually deal with serving justice, these courts are locked up in political schemes. It's crazy. I'm enjoying my first week of not being a defendant in 7.5 years. That's good. Enjoyable. We've got upside pizza coming soon. So I guess there's an upside to that. It is nice and calm. I mean, you got to think if you had, 100,000 additional lunatics, and they weren't like evenly spread through the city. It's not like you just added 100,000 regular people to a city where some people were, inside office buildings during the day. It was like everybody in this kind of midtown, Times Square, Penn Station sort of area. And if you just extract 100,000 or so, I think you notice it. And also remember, it was a little bit boiling frog style, right? Because they were adding them a busload at a time. And I mean, you noticed people were coming in, but it wasn't like 100 people added in a day, 100,000 people added in a day. Yeah, so I sent the Judicial Accountability Act to Eli Crane and to Corey Mills and Andy Ogle and Andy Biggs. I mean, I don't really know anything about getting bills through Congress, but sent it to those guys. I said, look, I don't even want any credit. I don't want anything. I just want this to become a law. If you think I could improve it, if you think there's somebody else I should send it to. And they were encouraging, they were nice and everything, but I don't know. It seemed to me like, why not just take it and be like, hey, this is great. And give it to whatever lawyer you have working for your Congress office there. And start getting it passed. Like, what do we need to do to make something happen here? Don't really know. I'm trying my best. And by the way, I'm asking people throughout this show to sponsor, but let me thank the people who have, because without that, wouldn't have come this far. Couldn't have been filing the things I already did. Remember, when I did the Boasberg filing, I was in DC. I stayed an extra day to make that filing in person, because otherwise I knew if I had spent that day driving and then I got home, I'd be tired, and then I'd have to write the thing and mail it. It would have been days and days added to when it would have gotten filed. I don't really know how that would have affected it, considering the guy didn't let it in anyway, but it accelerated everything, which is good. Oh yeah, the other thing is, Goodman versus Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office. That's been given a date for a hearing. Pig and cow. The date for that hearing is April 23rd. So these are some new restaurants. Taramore. Oh yeah, this used to be Alligator Hair. Maybe they just changed the name. This thing was called the Alligator, and they serve alligator. I've tried alligator in Louisiana. People would say, oh, it tastes like chicken. I don't think so. To me, it was more like scallops, right? Kind of chewy like that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Checking out the hotels, checking out the city, and checking out the federal judiciary, you know? I'm not a defendant anymore. Here, this weed store is back to open. But I still have lots of legal cases happening. And also, even the way the most recent one ended was not good. So anyway, instead of walking in the wind, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to sponsor the show, odyssey.com/@ crowdsource the truth, the most economical way, as little as $3 a month. You can also go to crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com or subscribe